Hello everyone, we have our news for the week, so let's take a look. First up, maintenance, normal time as usual. I did not notice anything about extending events. They might do that mid-maintenance. They have done that before just because of the Facebook issues, but so far, expecting to end with maintenance is the Parasite Eve stuff, Dark Visions, the Genesis of Chaos little side story, the Rod for Roka, as well as the Silver Crowns for both Fina the Return and Titus. So unless they decide to extend those without giving us early notice, that's all expected to end with maintenance. And new this week is the last two Neovision Dark Esper units and one NVA. So no premium units this week. Normal logins for all three units as expected. Fountain of Lapis is coming back, usually a good deal on that. Some ability awakenings. So Summoner Rydia is getting some Silver Crowns. We are getting a Silver Crown fight for her. She's getting a bunch of boosts. So hopefully it'll bring her up a little bit. I don't think this is going to bring her up too much, but we'll see what we can do with her after the boost. More leader skills. So we're getting a bunch of water leader skills. So Laguna, 100 attack and magic for water and Final Fantasy VIII. Nicole the Return for water and JP Anniversary. Summer Physalis and Vacation Fina for water and bonds. And then Lord of Seas Nicole is 100 attack and magic for water and evocation. So that's actually very helpful for the water side of things. So it's nice to see those leader skills. They're doing an equipment update for Item World. So we're going to have 3 more items to be able to buy and level up, just like all the other ones there. So first up, it looks like a one-handed dagger. 160 attack, 120 mana. Nullify stop on a weapon, and 50% demon killer. It's an interesting way to get stop immunity. Have to see what the special abilities we can add to that is. And then we get a two-handed whip, and it's got 50% double hand attack, 170 attack on that. And then scepter, so I'm guessing this is a staff with 110 magic, 160 spirits. 25 Evo damage, 25 Esper damage, and 30% Spirit. So they look okay. Nothing really stands out too much, other than maybe wanting the dagger for Nullify Stop in a weapon slot. And then they are updating the permanent vision card shop. So we're getting a bunch of cards added there, so that's always nice. We have our new cards. So just like the other cards, the new units are sharing the cards that the older versions of the units have. They're going to get updated, but they can't do that till the end of the month. So Rhus has the Rhus card that also Nelica shares. So same card, same stats, just have to wait on that. And then for Yshe, same card that Immatel, Kal, and the original Yshe all have. That's getting updated to 120 attack and magic, 60 defense and spirit, 30% attack, defense, spirit, 25 limit damage, and 100% double hand magic and spirit. So that's actually okay overall if you need the double hand especially. And then we get a new limited card. So this is 140 magic, 80% mana and magic, 50% limit damage, 75% killer for Beast, Fairy, and Reaper. And then Brave XP's only units, 500 flat magic, and 30% ice and water resist. Okay card overall. Nice to see that it's got some limit damage on there, along with the 75% to 3 killers. Beast and Reaper are fairly common killers. Fairy, not quite as much. So it's not a bad card. I don't see it as something as a must-have, though. So for events, we're getting a Katana event for the NVA. They don't show anything locked. We'll have to see if they do a series lock for one of the missions. So the Katana maxed out, 219 attack, 500 flat attack, and 100% Shiva stats. And then 1,000 flat attack. So the first thing is locked to Mystical Ice Lasswell only, the NVA. And then the second one is Blood of Hest category only. So Mystical Ice will get 1500 attack because he qualifies for both of those. And then just the Silver Crown for Rydia. So Evocation and Final Fantasy IV. I'm assuming one of the missions is probably going to be Evocation unless they decided to lock it to the series. But we'll run through that and see how tough that fight is. And then for a filler event, we're getting the Final Fantasy IX raid back. So this here, rerun of what we had before. Items we're getting from it: White Robe, 15 defense, 30 magic spirit, 30% light resist, 15% spirit when using a staff, and then the materia, 50% demon killer and 30% attack and magic. Killer materias with any attack and magic on them are always nice, so that's not too bad. The robe, they could have boosted that. And Final Fantasy IX category is going to be the bonus for the raid. And that seems to be about it. So I'm guessing they're just using the rerun raid as a filler event. And then we have the actual banner to look at. So we have Rhus, Yshe, and then NVA for Mystic Ice Lasswell. So we saw the card already. So there's the special step up with the card. Both units do share the same step ups. Not premium, so only need 10 tickets to pity if you go that way. So Rhus listed as a magic unit, super limit burst unit, and he's getting global upgrade. Super, one-handed sword, 182 attack, 235 magic. He'll get 500 flat magic. Everybody else can get 30% magic and 100% Esper stats. And then regular trust is a materia, 30% attack and magic, nullify, paralyze, water and earth resist, 20%. It's just okay overall, honestly. So one of his upgrades is his leader skill. So he's a water leader. They're boosting him to 600% attack and magic leader and 200 defense and spirit for water category only. And then they're also boosting his cooldown to boost water damage and his limit and everything. And then for Yshe, also a magic unit, super limit burst. So her leader skill is an ice leader, 500 attack and magic, 200 defense and spirit for ice only. No global boost on that. She is getting a global upgrade for her Song of Resolve Spear. So boost magic limit and limit damage. So I'm assuming the LB damage part is what they're boosting. And then we have NVA for Lasswell. They're updating his Super Trust, so that is 54 or so attack now. It's going up to 81 attack, 32 defense, 50% ice resist. Lasswell, the Mystic Ice version, will get 500 flat attack, and then still got the 50% Dragon Killer on it. And then regular Trust is getting updated as well. 48 attack, 22 defense, 40 magic, so I believe they're just adding magic to it. And then 30% ice resist, 50% attack when using a katana. And he's also going to be an evocation leader with 200% attack and magic, which is not bad overall, actually. So we can take a quick peek at the JP side for them. So as far as Lasswell, he gets 4 turns in his shift, and then has to wait 3 turns to be able to go back to his shift. He gets his LB fill, his boost cooldown 80 limit modifier for all physical attacks, 30% ice boost there. Other stuff getting a boost to not be completely useless, but pretty much a lot of the same stuff that he's always had. He will be able to do a 25% ice field when evoking Shiva. And he can evoke any Esper in the party, which is nice. Double hand unit, has all that. Passive 25 modifier for all physical attacks. He gets 100% passive for using Shiva. Flat 1500 attack's going to help him out. And he actually, at EX3, he gets the usual 500. And his base limit, 75x modifier, ignore defense 50%, and 130 ice down. So his cooldown will actually add 80 to that, which will get doubled by the 50. Ignore defense, he won't get affected by the preemptive LB boost from like Titus's Garb and everything now. So only the 80 modifier and then Typhus's Spirit would be the only things to affect that. 12 hits. It'd do okay. It's definitely not what you're going to use for his main damage from the looks of it. And then in the shift, a lot of the same stuff as far as abilities go. And his shifted limit burst is bolting frames, 30 katana down, 135 ice down, 250 base. So from what I can see, his shifted limit burst is going to be his best damage overall, which isn't too bad. But nothing too special on him overall. He's a evoke leader in an ice field from the main looks of things there. Then we have Yshe. So she's ice unit. We get the Ice Magnus EX2 for that, it looks like. So we have evoke damage, 80x modifier, which is pretty standard. Everybody seems to have that. So she's got ice and water version of that. Those are bolting. Then she's got just magic damage, 150 modifiers for ice and water on mirror chains. She can unlock a few moves, and she does have this one cooldown, 10 turns, but you can use it turn 1, 2300 finisher, which is not bad. The moves that we get from the cards are 2000, so that's a 300 modifier above using one of the cards at the moment. She can evoke Siren for 100% stat field. She gets 200x on her spells, and then some of her unlock stuff. So she can do 90x modifier to her limit and 300 storm magic. She can also add another 700 to that big nuke, making it a 3000 modifier with 300 storm magic from her unlocks. She gets one that will fill her limit 3 turns in a row, and one that will let her use that cooldown 3 turns in a row. So she looks like she's mainly focused around boosting and using the finisher cooldown or her limit burst for main damage. So base limit, 35 spear down, 135 ice, 85 defense spirit break, and 280 ice magic. And then the super version, everything's the same except for it's 380 on the modifier. So she'll add 90 to that. So her super looks pretty good, and the finisher should probably be decent as well. So it looks like she'll do decent damage. She's not going to be top damage, but she should be fairly up there, I think. And then for Rhus, also her modifier is going to be bigger than the 90 on the limit from the global boost, I believe. So she might be higher than expected, depending on how high they boost that. And then for Rhus, we have our water leader, so EX2 for his water 150. He adds 90, so it might be more than 90, depending on what the global boosts are exactly on his limit there. Storm Magic, always nice to see on the mages that have that already. So he's water and earth. So we got the 80x bolting evoke moves for both water and earth. He can unlock a couple of moves, and then he also has his mirror magic moves for water and earth. He's got a combined evoke water and earth, only 60x modifier on that. It does have 140 water and earth down, which is actually a nice imperil. Aquatic and stone, 200% killer, but just for himself. So he can evoke Kokurayu to do a 30% water field for the party. He's a dual wield unit and does have the extra dual wield cap, so that helps him quite a bit. Gets an extra 200x on some of his abilities. He can water and view the team, which is nice. Always good to see that on an elemental leader. As far as limits, his base limit, sword and katana down 35, 130 water down, 80 spirit break, and 280x on his base limit. And then for the super version, sword and katana 40% in peril is nice. 130 water down, still 80 spirit break, and 380 on his modifier. So adding at least 90 to that. So he should be able to do decent amount of damage. It's also going to depend exactly what they do for the global boost, as they both have boosts listed, and both of them are listing the moves that boost their limits. So the one NVA we're missing is War Hero Reagan, which I was kind of expecting them to slap him on this. We'll see if they decide to skip him or not, because I believe this is the end of the Dark Esper units. So I was kind of expecting to have him show up at some point, because they did start off with his sword right away at the beginning of everything. So we'll see what happens there. So Rhus, big water leader. I think he's the first big water leader, and it looks like he's going to do some decent damage. Then we have Yshe, who's a better ice leader than the Lasswell that we have right now. Mystic Ice looks okay overall. Probably be able to use him quite a bit in some budget runs for sure. As far as the card, if you're going to do Lapis pulls, the card's good enough to probably grab along the way if you're going to pity. Myself, I'm going to use 10+1 tickets, and again, we're going to hope. I have a plan for my pulls essentially, and I'm just going to follow that for now. So this is a 10+1 ticket week, and we'll see if I get anything useful. But everybody that does decide to pull, good luck to you. And that's pretty much all the news we have, so we're going to be ending this video here. Hope everybody enjoyed.